Good morning, students, and welcome back to this recorded session. Today, we have to continue with the language acquisition classes, and this class is about a short review about the first conditional, kids. About the first conditional, don't forget it. So I know that we have seen zero conditional and the differences with the first conditional before, but it is pretty important, es muy importante to review this type of classes, de hacer un repaso de estas clases. So for that reason I took as an assignment, me tomé la tarea to make this type of review for all of you. So I hope that you enjoy it, and we start with the class. Okay, first, as you can see in the slides, we have three different types of conditionals. We have the first, the second, and the third conditional. And also it says that we differentiate between zero and mixed conditional. Remember, kids, that the zero conditional is when you are talking in present in the if clause and also in the main clause. For example, if you heat water, it boils, right? So for example, that one. And it's something about that it is true, but in this case we have to learn about the first conditional. What about the first conditional, kids? Well, firstly, so we need to remember that in the zero conditional we were talking about the present. Well, in this case we start with the present in the if clause and we finish with will or want plus infinitive in the result clause or in the main clause. Remember, one more time, in the if sentence, en la oración con if, always we have to use the present simple, but the main clause or the result clause we have to use will or want if it's in negative, right? Don't forget it. In first conditional plus present simple, then the comma, then the will or want plus infinitive. For example, we have here, if the weather is nice, we will go for a picnic, or we will go for a picnic if the weather is nice. Now, kids, in the second sentence, we will go for a picnic if the weather is nice, we don't have to use any comma. Why not? Because in this type of sentences, if the word if is in the middle of the sentence, we don't have to use it, okay? But what happened in the beginning? If the word if is at the beginning of the sentence, you have to use comma. For example, if the weather is nice, comma, we will go for a picnic. And when we don't use comma, cuando no utilizamos comma, when the main result is at first, cuando el resultado o el condicional está al principio. Okay, don't forget it, kids. Now we continue. But what is the use of the first conditional? What is the usage of it? Well, as it says, it describes a possible future event. A possible future event that may or may not happen in the future. Que pase o que pueda pasar in the future, en el futuro. Don't forget it. It describes a possible future. Okay, it describes a possible future. That is pretty important to remember. And also, in the main clause, we can use a part of will or want. We can use can or can't, may or might, or the imperative. Okay, so en vez de utilizar will or want, podemos también utilizar can, can't, may, might, and the imperative. Now we continue. What happened here? It says, kids, that if we have enough money, what happens if we have enough money? ¿Qué pasa si tenemos mucho dinero? We can go to a fancy restaurant. Okay, so we are changing will and we are using can in this case. Okay, we can go to a fancy restaurant. Podemos ir a un restaurante elegante. Now we are changing may or might, and it says the sentence. If they have more free time, they might come and visit us. And finally, if you don't watch the TV, turn it off. In the case of imperative, right? But that is first conditional. Okay, because you are using can, might, or turn, or will or want. Now, kids, I have to show you a video about the first conditional, and I hope that you enjoy it. and also that you learn about this. Okay, so I let you with the video.
If you throw a ball
Look
in
at
the
it,
air,
and
it falls
then we
back
finish.
down. If you pour water onto a fire, it gets put out. These are sentences that are called conditional sentences. These particular sentences are zero conditionals. Let's look at another type of conditional sentence: first conditionals. First conditionals are used to explain about conditions that have a real possibility of happening in the future. It's not 100% sure, but there is a big chance that it will happen. Let's look at an example. If I study hard, I'll pass the test. Is there a chance for me to pass the test if I study hard? Yes. Can this happen? Yes. Does it mean my passing is 100% guaranteed? No. But the test is a very likely thing that can happen. And that is a first conditional sentence. It has the structure of if plus present tense clause, will present tense clause. Now for another example. So you just woke up and looking outside the window, you see grey clouds. You say to yourself, if it rains, I'll go back to sleep. Or you can also say, I will go back to sleep if it rains. Is this situation possible? Yes. Will this situation happen 100%? No. So that's pretty much what a first conditional is. It's to talk about things that have a high chance of happening.
Well, kids, I have to say thank you and goodbye.